let's be real, most of us live in the cloud now, right? Google Drive, iCloud, our photos, our documents, our entire digital lives are up there. It's so convenient, but it also means we're handing over some of our most valuable stuff. So, what are the hidden risks we're all taking?
And that's the big question we're tackling in this explainer. Just how secure is it really? What are the threats lurking in the cloud that we don't always stop to think about? And spoiler alert, it's a lot more than just hackers and hoodies.
So let's kick things off with the thing that matters most to all of us, our data. I'm talking your photos, your private files, your sensitive information. This is really ground zero when it comes to cloud security risks.
First up, the big one you've definitely heard about, a data breach. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital robbery. Someone finds a way in and gets their hands on information they should never, ever be able to see. And the fallout from a breach like that, man, it is serious. We're talking about losing your personal data, facing some major financial damage, and for businesses, it can mean getting tangled up in some really serious legal trouble. The stakes are just incredibly high. Now here's where it gets interesting. A data breach isn't the only way your information can disappear. There's also something called data loss, and this is different. This isn't about theft. This is about your data just vanishing. Poof. Maybe it gets accidentally deleted or a system failure corrupts it. So what's behind this? You might think it's all sophisticated attacks, but check this out. A huge slice of the pie is just accidental deletion. Yep, sometimes it's as simple as someone clicking the wrong button. Other times it's a server failing or, of course, a ransomware attack that locks up all your files. Okay, so that leads us to the next logical question, right? How do these attackers actually get inside in the first place? How are they jimmying open these digital doors to our data?
Well, there are two major ways in. On one side, you've got insecure APIs. Think of these as the secret tunnels that apps use to talk to each other. If those tunnels aren't properly secured, an attacker can just slip right through. Then, on the other side, you have account hijacking. This is much more direct. This is like someone literally stealing the key to your front door. And account hijacking is alarmingly simple. It happens in just 3 steps. First, the bad guy finds a weakness. Maybe they trick you with a phishing email, or they find a weak password you've used somewhere else. Second, boom, they steal your login info. And finally, they take complete control of your account. It can happen in the blink of an eye. Now, we've talked a lot about these external attackers, these shadowy figures trying to break in. But here's the twist. Very often, the single biggest security threat isn't some criminal mastermind. Nope, it's much, much closer to home. So, what do you think it is? What is the #1 most common cloud security risk out there? Take a second, make a guess. I bet it's not what you're thinking.
The answer is misconfiguration. It's a fancy word for, well, human error. This is when someone simply sets up the security settings incorrectly, accidentally leaving a door wide open to the public internet. It's the digital equivalent of leaving your house but forgetting to lock the front door.
And this all falls under the umbrella of insider threats. But that doesn't always mean someone has bad intentions. Sure, you have the malicious insider who's trying to do harm, but you also have the careless insider who just makes an honest mistake. And then there's the compromised insider. That's a good employee whose account got hijacked by an outsider.
So you see how this all connects? This whole problem gets way, way worse when there's a skills gap. When companies don't have enough people who are properly trained in cloud security, the odds of these simple but totally devastating mistakes just skyrocket.
Okay, so we've covered the threats from the inside. Now let's pivot and look back outside at those classic cyber attacks we all know and, well, don't love, and see how they've been retooled for the cloud. Let's hit 3 of the big ones. First, denial of service attacks. This is just a brute force method to flood a system with so much junk traffic that it completely shuts down. Then you've got malware. Criminals will actually upload infected files to cloud storage, hoping to turn it into a hub to spread their viruses. And finally, shared vulnerabilities. Because cloud providers use the same hardware for lots of customers, a single flaw could potentially impact everyone using that piece of tech. So to bring this all together, let's just zoom out for a second. Beyond all these specific attacks, there are a couple of huge systemic challenges that make securing the cloud so darn tricky. First is what's called limited visibility. I mean, you can't see or touch the physical servers your data lives on, which makes it a lot harder to monitor what's happening. And second is the legal minefield of compliance, With strict privacy laws like GDPR and HIPAA, a simple mistake in how data is stored in the cloud can lead to absolutely massive fines.
So what are the big takeaways here? Well, number one, human error is often the weakest link in the entire chain. Number two, protecting your front door, your passwords, your access points is every bit as important as protecting what's inside. And finally, security in the cloud isn't just on the provider, it's a shared responsibility. We all have a part to play. And that leaves us with one final question to chew on. When it comes to your most valuable digital stuff, all stored up there in the cloud, who do you think is ultimately responsible for keeping it safe? The company providing the service or you?